So first question, what's your name?
My name is Zuzu.
And what are your pronouns?
My pronouns are neopronouns. I go by Zeezer.
Okay. That's my dog's. What's your gender identity and sexuality in your labels?
I am a lesbian and I'm agender.
Cool. And we're going to talk about 5 different topics. First is holidays. So like Pride Month is the big holiday for that community. So first thing I wrote down is, what is your take on rainbow capitalism?
Rainbow capitalism is like when like stores use it to Okay, just making sure. Well, I honestly don't think it's very fair, especially if they don't support the LGBT community afterwards. They only use it during Pride Month to get more sales or something.
So do you agree that if they have like Pride Month memorabilia or whatever, they should donate to a LGBTQ plus cause?
Yes.
Okay. And some people, the devil's advocate, would say like any publicity is good publicity. What would you say to that?
It's only considered good publicity if they actually support it during other months as well, instead of just doing it that one month and then forgetting about it the rest of the year.
Okay. Are there anything else that you think is like negative about Pride Month? Like stereotypes or something like that?
Well, a lot of the so it's very common for lesbians and non-binary people to get a lot of bad rep during Pride Month, and I think that's unfair, and they treat everybody differently when we should all be celebrating every part of the LGBTQ plus community instead of just a few of them.
Mm-hmm. And the fun part, how do you celebrate?
I just spend my time like being myself and showing my pride, and I go to pride parades if I can. And I just make sure that I'm being proud to be myself.
So it's more of like an internal celebration. Okay. And so you have been to a pride parade. What was it like?
It was really fun. A lot of people were really, really nice, and we actually got to like join in the parade, and we got to walk the parade, and it was a lot of fun.
So the parade itself is very inclusive.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you would want to say about like holidays, Pride or Pride Month, or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Okay. This one you might not know a ton about, but it's required. So employment.
Okay.
Are there some businesses that should be avoided as a queer person?
Yes, most definitely. The number one being Chick-fil-A.
And why is that?
They just have a reputation for being very homophobic.
So like donating to homophobic causes and like also in their values.
Yeah.
Are there any jobs that should be avoided, like for the sake of your safety or something like that?
I'm not sure about that one. I don't know many jobs that would require that, but I'm sure that there are a few out there.
As a future teacher, I'm thinking about like teaching, like, is that something you should avoid?
I don't think so. I think that teaching would be actually a pretty good job for somebody who's LGBT, because you can teach how to be inclusive and stuff like that.
And there are laws currently that you cannot actually teach how to be inclusive and all
there
that.
Are.
Yes.
There are.
What do you think about that?
I think that that's awful. That's so unfair.
And what do you think about in some states that it's illegal to discriminate against LGBTQ plus people? It's illegal to fire people in some states. How do we go about changing that?
If it is illegal to,
It's illegal in some states to fire people.
well, that's
In others,
good.
it's not. But
Well, it's good for it to be illegal to fire people if they're LGBT.
I was saying legal with an
Oh,
L.
I thought you said illegal. I'm so sorry. That's definitely not okay, but I think that just working slowly to make sure that, like, I don't know, just trying your best to make it normal for people to be LGBT so that I just think people shouldn't get fired for that. I think that that's unfair.
Would you sympathize with a person who chose not to be out because of those laws?
Yes.
Okay, in education, you might know a little more about because you're in high school right now.
Yeah.
So, what is your general school experience like since being out, and was it different before?
It was very different before. I've always had a reputation for being kind of the weird kid, but as soon as I came out, it kind of got worse. A lot of bullying happened, and it just wasn't very pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
And the times that I did try to like show my pride, I'd be called slurs and people would just be overall rude to me.
Does your high school have a GSA or anything like that?
What's the GSA?
A Gay Straight Alliance. It's like a club you go to if you're gay
yeah.
or ally.
Yeah, we do have one of those.
Have you ever been?
I have not.
Okay. But do you think it's a good thing your school has one?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there any representation in your curriculum?
Not that I know of.
Should there be, and how much?
I think that there should be at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And how do teachers and students react to you being out? You talked about students, but teachers too.
A lot of the teachers are actually very, very supportive, and they try their best to be inclusive and just be overall supportive.
What would you say to a future teacher to help support those kids that identify as LGBTQ+?
Just try your best to respect their pronouns, and if they're having a tough time, make sure that it's a safe place in your classroom to like be able to talk about those issues with you.
Okay.
If they need to.
Mm-hmm. Next is about your identity and how you came out. So, like when did you come out? And was it different for your like each group, for like your family, your friends, your school peers?
Well, I kind of had to come out twice. One was for me being a lesbian and the other one was for me being agender. The first time I came out as a lesbian first, and that was in like 8th grade, and my family actually already knew. Hold on, there's the sun. I'm gonna go close the blinds.
Okay.
Okay, that should be much better. So it was 8th grade, and my mom actually already knew before I even came out, so it was very easy to come out like that. And I got a lot of support from my family and my friends and stuff like that.
So you weren't scared because they already kind of knew?
Yeah, I mean, I was scared to like officially tell them, but my mom was very supportive, and she kind of helped me to come out officially, being like, if it's something about this, I think I already know what it is. I'm still gonna love you. It's okay.
Did you have any friends that had like the opposite experience?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Was it hard to find labels that fit you?
Yes, especially with gender. I feel like
Mhm.
me being a lesbian was probably the easiest thing, but the gender portion of it was definitely the hardest. It took a couple of years for me to figure out who I actually was, and I kind of went through this gender identity crisis in my life. So,
And how important are labels to you? Like, do they make you feel more understood?
yeah, I think that they're kind of important, but if somebody isn't comfortable with labels, then that is also perfectly okay. That's their opinion.
Okay. And next we're gonna talk about all the bad stuff, the hate, the bullying, the misgender, the dead naming.
Oh geez.
So you've already talked about that you did experience bullying. Was that on the basis of being a lesbian or being agender or both?
Just being a lesbian.
Did the school step in at any point?
Um, Not exactly. A lot of the some of the teachers were actually like against me, and so I had a girlfriend at the time, and some of the teachers got mad when we held hands in the hallway, but it was okay for straight people to do it, and it was okay for just friends to do it, but since they knew that we were dating, they were like, you can't do that.
So they were saying it was about PDA when really it was a double standard.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there any other incidents or was that the main one?
That was just with the teachers. There were a couple other instances with like students and stuff.
Especially the teachers, what do you think should have happened to the teachers as the result of their behavior? Should they have gotten training to like be more tolerant, or was their reaction okay?
I feel like the reaction wasn't very okay, but if they had done it for like other people, then I feel like it would have been better. But since they were just doing it to like me and my girlfriend, I feel like it was very unfair.
Mm-hmm. So you've talked about supportive parents. That's not true for everyone, but for you, what's it like having a supportive parent? Like, how does that change things?
It's really nice because I feel like I'm actually in a safe place, and it makes it better for my mental health to actually be able to be myself. And not only does it make my house a safe place for me, but it'll also make my house a safe place for other people who might be struggling a little more with their families.
Has your mom been that safe person for other friends of yours?
Definitely.
And what would you say to their parents if you could just say one thing to try to get them to understand?
If you truly loved your child, then you'd at least consider being more open about it. It's about loving your child for who they are instead of loving the child that you think that they should be.
That's very good. How often are you misgendered or dead named?
Misgendered is a lot, but dead named not so much.
Has it gotten a lot better over time?
I'd say with the name, yes, but a lot of people don't really use my pronouns because they're kind of hard to use.
How does that make you feel that they don't use them?
It makes me feel a little sad because I feel like they should at least put in a little bit of effort, but they're just kind of not.
Why did you choose the neo pronouns versus like they, them, or something like that?
I tried they, them for a little while, but it just didn't feel right. And then I found out about neo pronouns and I was like, it clicked immediately. And I was like, I want those. Those are for me.
Okay. That's everything I've written down. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'll text you if I have specific questions, but I think we're good.
All right, sounds good.
Let me make sure it ends the recording.